Hello, everyone. This is a Dharma message for the week of March 29th. Before I begin, I just want to share how much I miss each and every one of you. This has been a bit of a challenge because truly the highlight of my week is coming to temple each Sunday and being able to see all your smiling faces and all of us having a chance to chant together and work together at the temple. So I hope this day finds you well. And we'll start off by reciting the Nembutsu together. So if you like, please put your hands together and join me in Gasho. Namo Amidabutsu, Namo Amidabutsu, Namo Amidabutsu, Namandabs, 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 Namandabs. So, how are you all doing? This has been a really interesting few weeks, hasn't it? And as Sensei Mike said in his last Dharma message to all of you, however you are feeling right now is completely okay. It's natural to feel at times anxious or angry or scared or confused. That's part of being a human being, and it's okay to feel that way. Today, I thought I would start my Dharma message by sharing with you one of my most favorite books. So this part of the Dharma message is actually intended for our Dharma school students. So I hope you are watching this and that you will join along with me. And my book that I'm choosing to read with you is called Silence. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this book. Silence. In the silence, I can hear the waves crashing. And the wind playing with my kite. At night, I can hear what the stars tell me. And in the morning, what the birds say. When I listen, I can hear my feet when dancing. My heart when I'm running. My legs when I'm swimming. And my breath when still. In spring, I can hear bees loving flowers. In summer, trees chattering. In fall, leaves tumbling. In winter, snow twinkling. Be still. Listen. How many things can you hear? So what did you think of it? It's pretty good, huh? It has a very nice simple message because when you're silent, it gives you an opportunity to hear things you might not normally hear and to reflect on things that maybe when our world is really busy, we don't get a chance to think about very much. So why don't we just take a moment and be silent together? Are you ready? How was that for you? What did you hear? Perhaps when I was reading the book earlier, or just now, you could hear my dogs barking in the backyard, or the twinkling of my wind chimes outside of our window in our home. Maybe in your house you heard your cats purring or your dogs barking, or maybe someone outside playing, or the TV on in the other room. There's many things that you probably don't notice every day, but when we're silent, we can pick up on other things. What did you think about while you were being quiet? How are you feeling inside? Again, no matter how you're feeling in here, it's okay. It's natural. You're a human. You cannot not feel, right? So I'm glad you had that moment with me in being silent. For everyone else, it's important to take those moments, especially when things are uncertain right now. We're not sure how things are going to play out. We get lots of information either online or from news conferences, or sometimes our friends share them with us through email, text, or social media. We're definitely not lacking in information. I think one of the things we are lacking, though, is clear information and logical information. It's hard to connect all the dots, so that just increases our uncertainty at times. And when we're uncertain, we can sometimes feel anxious or confused or scared. And again, just as I shared with the children, it's important for all of us as adults to recognize that the emotions we're feeling are completely normal. I struggle with this too. There's many things that are happening right now that I have questions about. How long will I need to avoid the people that I care about the most, which includes you? At work, there's financial challenges. I'm sure that's happening for many other people. It's a struggle right now. But right now, it's a struggle, right? A few months ago, for the most part, we were living our normal lives. No big deal. Not really worrying about a whole lot, maybe. I'm confident that in a few months we'll be back to something that looks like that, but it'll be a different normal. There'll still be effects from all of this, but I trust we'll be okay. So when I think about what's happening right now, I try very hard to apply the Buddhist teachings to it. And there's a couple of different ways that we can look at this. One of the principal teachings of Buddhism is that all things are interconnected. Nothing is independent. So each moment, each person, each experience is dependent upon something else happening before it. And I would actually think that it's countless things that have happened before it, things that we cannot even imagine. So when we think about this virus, that is affecting everyone on a global scale to some degree. It began with one simple moment somewhere. And that moment spread through different means, through different ways. We could hear about it before it came to our shores, but yet here it is now. And it's affected so many people. So if there was ever any question whether or not we're interconnected with every other human being on this planet, I hope that's been answered for all of you, because this had to start with at least one individual and spread from there. And is it that person's fault? I don't see it that way. It just happened. Happened, of course, through some other causes and conditions, but yet it happened. So whomever it began with, I don't hold any ill will towards that person, because I truly think no one started this or whatever brought it upon themselves to think like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the world suffer. I don't see that at all. Another thing about interconnectedness and everything being dependent upon one another is how much I've come to realize that we do rely on so many others for our well-being. We have our first responders, our doctors and our nurses that are caring for so many people all over the world, trying to help them make it through this virus, trying to save them. Without their help, I'm sure this would be a much more different situation, as grave as it already is. But there are people who are actively fighting this, trying to help others. There are stories too about people being gravely ill in the hospital who are alone from their family members, and yet these same doctors and nurses stand by their sides and give them comfort. And they stand in for the family members that aren't able to be there with them. Those are just fellow human beings that a few short weeks ago, they didn't even know one another, and yet there they are, recognizing them as fellow people and caring for them and giving them love and compassion. I'm grateful for that. And then there's other folks who are out there making sure that we can go about and live our lives. The people that work in the grocery stores or the pharmacies, the people who stock the shelves, or if we're ordering our groceries online or doing curbside delivery, that bring those things to us. People that risk their lives, in a way, if you think about it, trying to make sure that we can be fed and take care of ourselves. And that can extend to delivery drivers like from Amazon or UPS or the US Post Office. Still trying to ensure that we get what we need. That will be okay. So their recognition that they need to do their jobs and help us is another way of thinking about interconnectedness. And when I think about that, I cannot help but be grateful. Even when I'm eating my 5th can of chili for the week, or I run out of milk, or, and I have to drink water, I'm grateful that I have those opportunities to still be able to sustain myself. There's a lot to be grateful for. Another central Buddhist teaching that I try to think about each day is the idea of impermanence. So, yes, our lives were disrupted when this began. I'm sure many of you had plans to perhaps go on spring break. Our older Dharma school students who are in high school were probably thinking about prom or high school graduation. Some of us probably had some trips planned for the summer that are now in question, or jobs to go to that maybe we can't go to right now. But leading up to all this, it seemed like things were probably normal, right? And then this occurred. So it's a reminder to all of us that despite what's going on in our lives, those things, good and bad, are impermanent. They'll change constantly. But even this crisis right now, what we're going through, even though we don't know how it will end completely, this itself is also not permanent. It will pass. Will it be the same when it's done? I don't think so. Nothing stays the same. Again, nothing is permanent, but it will come to pass. And I'm sure, perhaps a year from now, we'll look back on this time and realize how strong we were during this, how resilient we were to get through this. It doesn't mean it will be easy, but we will have come out of it as stronger people. I truly believe that. So, as you go about your week, as we embrace this new normal abnormal, as I've heard some people say, I encourage all of you to take some time and to be silent and to listen to the birds chirping outside or the leaves rustling in the trees, and to think about how much you have to be grateful for, to realize that because of so many others out there, how fortunate you are to be alive and to be able to continue living your life, and to also realize that this too is impermanent and it will change. And I'm looking forward to the day that I can join you all again at the Arizona Buddhist Temple and practice the Dharma with you. So thank you so much for listening. And would you please put your hands together one more time and join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. See you soon.